I'm playing Miss Pac-Man. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? It's actually Miss Pac-Man in this little arcade machine. Can you hear it? Huh? Okay, I'm not doing a very good job playing Miss Pac-Man. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some power pellets. Chomp a ghost. Chomp another ghost. Huh? It was pretty cool, huh? Yeah, some company sent it to me. Let me go ahead and turn that off. Otherwise, I'll be here all night, and we only have an hour for the live TLDR broadcast. Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in once again for whatever this hour is going to be. Our hour together. An AMA every day. A Q&A with you and me. This is the third t-shirt I've worn all day. I know you didn't show up for the Tiny Miss Pac-Man arcade game, but if you are interested, I guess the company is called Tiny Arcade. This is the one they sent me, and they have others, too. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to go and get the others, because this is just too cool. I've seen so many cool things today. The second cool thing I saw today was a glow-in-the-dark Star Wars figure. Huh? That's cool. It glows in the dark. I almost said R2. Like the one I'm wearing. R3 Boo 17. BOO 17. For 2017. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of cool stuff today. I've done a lot of cool stuff today. This is the coolest thing I've done so far. I've already recorded today's podcast on anchor.fm/Chris Pirillo. You can call into the podcast if you're interested. You can even watch it live when I simulcast it on my Twitch profile. And it's nice to be able to interact with people live, like now. And you can also join the Discord chat 24/7 if you become a sub of mine on Twitch. And you can do it for free if you connect your Amazon Prime account to Twitch there. Or you can join the Discord chat if you become a patron of mine, patreon.com/Chris Pirillo. So we've got a few questions in the queue. But before we dive into the things that you want to ask, let me first check this video title. I had to make sure I was doing the right thing. Now, I don't know. Did YouTube move the title? You can never tell. Every time you log in, it's somewhere different. If you've been watching my social feeds, you've likely seen that I had a chance to unbox the LG V30 with T-Mobile, connected with Dez again. It was awesome. I love working with Dez, and I don't even know if I'd say working, really. Because it wasn't. It was fun. It was play. I love playing with Dez. And, I learned something that I didn't know before, specifically about the V30, not realizing that it was one of the first phones to basically be able to handle the 600 megahertz spectrum, band 71, I think is what it is. I usually don't get lost in the weeds when it comes to specifications and specs. It's less about the hardware for me, and it's more about the software, as you very well know. But it also surprised me that I had a chance to take one home with me. Right here, LG V30. Apparently, not everybody has this yet. But not my first Android device. Certainly not, but something that is going to be familiar over the coming months. I'm excited to use the V30, if only for its HDR video recording. I do want to try that. I don't know if YouTube necessarily supports it. But I thought what we'd do tonight, if you don't mind, let me check chat here. Let me see if they don't mind. Oh, we got a super chat. Michael Tristan, thank you for the first super chat this evening. I do appreciate it. You will be very appreciated now that you're also a patron, because I saw you jump into Discord chat, and I think you were on Twitch chat earlier with the podcast. So y'all are okay with the possibly just unboxing this now, and then tomorrow, in the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel, if I can say it correctly, where I just published my, thoughts on the 6-year anniversary of Steve Jobs' passing. Watch that video after this live video. I'll post my initial impressions of the V30 there tomorrow. But now, tonight, to say nothing more, I am going to open the box. Let's see here. I make sure T-Mobile gets credit. This is nice. I can't always get review units, so I appreciate when I do. I really do. Silent. Beautiful. Look at that. You can't see it. It is so dark you can't see it. That's how amazing this phone is. This is just the microfiber cloth. Very fibrous. I was expecting something a lot like this, honestly. Very micro, very small, and very fibrous. You would not want to dry yourselves with this at all. I mean, you could if you spilled just a little water on yourself. But if you didn't spill a little water on yourself, then, you know, you'd go with a bigger towel there. Okay, let's go ahead and continue with the sliding out and unboxing. Here's the phone. But I know what you're interested in. I know. It's not this. It's this. Does it come with a SIM ejector tool? It does. It just, and you know, because there's the icon there. And look at this. It's got a lip right there. You know why they put the lip there? So you can pull it out. The rest of it. Everything that you might need to get going, including the instructions and everything, which, okay, I gotta appreciate that they put this information in here. This is great. Peace of mind comes with every LG V30. We are so confident in the LG 30's quality, or the V30's quality, I apologize, that in addition to the manufacturer's first-year limited warranty, we're now offering a complimentary second-year coverage upon registration. Register your V30! 2 years! It's pretty amazing. What else do we have? We have a cable. It looks like it is USB Type-C. Yeah, baby. And a white adapter. So those cables are both white. The device itself, black and silver. Nice. I like that. I'm a kind of person who just doesn't like a lot of color on my phones. I like the color on the screens, not so much on the phones. And I think the last LG product I had a chance to use was the G4. The V series, as I've come to understand, is more of the luxury line. The thing is, Santiago Hinojosa, who's also a supporter, says, let's see the paperwork. Fine, I'll show you the paperwork. I didn't think y'all would want that. I mean, I kind of get excited over the paperwork. I thought I was the only one. So it's kind of nice here. Hang on, just a second. Oh, gosh. Oh, man! They've outdone themselves. Look, you welcome start guide here with, you get 2 staples on it. There are a lot of people out there saying, who is this guy? What is he doing? You've never seen a Chris Pirillo video, have you? Well, welcome aboard. And then this guide here, I guess, terms and conditions, also come in another language. So you can potentially master another language, which is very nice. I think not everybody does that necessarily. So that's good that LG does. I think a lot of people do. But, you know, the thing about this product outright is that it's something that I think I am looking forward to specifically because of what I understand about the front-facing camera, is what I understand. But I'll get to use it on a regular basis. I'll let you know. The review will be forthcoming. I'm going to go ahead and boot it up, even though I'm not giving you my first impressions right now. I did the unboxing. I did what I said I was going to do, okay? Because I want to turn and I want to answer the questions coming in from chat, including Mr. Valara says, this is the only V series that I'd consider glad they ditched that second screen. You know, I like that second screen. What was that one on? Was that the V10? It's been so long. But I thought it was kind of neat. I thought it was kind of nifty. I did. When I booted this up for the first time today, it was really intuitive. You put your finger right there in a very comfortable spot for the button there to turn it on. You hold it in. You feel just a slight vibration. You get the boot screen, LG V30 powered by Android. To me, I think OEMs are doing a fantastic job with adding their value to Android. And what's compelling about this experience specifically is, yeah, it's a fantastic screen. I haven't booted it up. I haven't set it up yet. This is like a clean phone. It's like pretty much starting from scratch. But I really like the fact that out of the array of choices today, LG's offering a lot of what people may be asking for, minus a removable battery, which I don't know. That to me, I get why some people still want that. I've already moved on to inductive charging with battery packs that slap on magnetically. I should show you that, shouldn't I? I realize this is kind of weird, but hey, I'm a weird guy. So this is my inductive charging case, and then I effectively can put this battery on magnetically and then charge the phone like that. So I'm used to it. I'm fine with that. I'm definitely looking forward to doing the initial impressions on this, but it's specifically the software that LG has created with the phone that I believe is the most compelling part of the phone. Not necessarily the headphone jack, not necessarily, I guess it's got removable media as well, so some people want that. Got an FM radio in there. No, I think this is T-Mobile had to do something special to it. So I'm not unboxing an unboxed box. I'm unboxing it here. This is true. It was in the box. I removed it from the box. So, take me literally. I'll take you literally. Brian Knowles asks, nice phone. How's the weight of it? How it's light. I mean, I don't know. It feels light. I'm a small guy, like very small, and this feels very comfortable, very nice. You don't have a very big chin. I pulled that joke earlier in the T-Mobile live stream, and the forehead is also very clean. It's clean. I like clean a lot. Definitely going to be diving into that and setting it up tonight. So, it may not have everything, but you got to look at what LG's doing specifically with software, and I think that is the most compelling approach to an experience anymore, because it's like Rick Osterloh said at the Google keynote, hardware starts to look the same. I mean, trust me, LG's doing different things in hardware, but I'm just as impressed with the software and the overarching experience as I am with the actual hardware, which does look very nice. It does look nice. But how does it work? How does the software play? What's the marriage between hardware and software? And that's where I want to extract my experience. We got a second super chat from Billy Higgins. Thank you, Billy. Chris, if you had an opportunity to fix iOS, what would you do specifically and how would you do it? Man, I wish Apple would hire you. Get in there, bro. Thanks, Billy. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I know that I have a lot of feedback to offer any company that's willing to take it, whether it's Apple or any other company, specifically in relation to their experience. I love software. Always have, always will. In terms of hardware, yeah, I like, droids. These kinds of droids are my favorite. But the thing I would do effectively is maybe keep iOS moving forward, adding just a few more features as it was iterated, but starting immediately, I would effectively reboot it. Providing compatibility, backwards compatibility with existing apps, but effectively, like, wipe the slate clean, start from scratch, build with performance in mind, and then start layering things in such that you could start over. Kind of like they had to do, effectively, and granted, they could with their Office suite. Remember with the reboot of Pages, Numbers, and Keynote? Radical reboot, lost so many features. They could afford to do that because not everybody was using those products. I gotta tell you, I'm still not using those products necessarily all that often, if only because they're not cross-platform. And I've become a huge fan in cross-platform compatibility. So that's one of the things I would do. That's how I would do it. Couldn't tell you. I just tell you it needs to happen. The next super chat, and I'm taking these in line, comes from Jordan Vasquez. Another super chat with the Stormtrooper in your avatar, Jordan. I love you. For the Pixel Fund, thank you. I'm going to need it. This has been a very expensive month, so I appreciate that LG and T-Mobile stepped forward to provide me this experience that I hope to hold on to indefinitely, if only to be able to do comparisons and trials and record videos on this, like videos I would normally shoot, but let you know that I'm recording on this, pictures and what have you. So I'm excited. Pez Liz came in with another super chat, a toonie for the Pixel Fund. Thank you. Y'all know me well. Love the software. Fernando Pina says, awesome shirt, Chris. Thank you. I happen to agree. I'm a little biased, though. Moanis Kamal says, headphone jack and SD card are big for me. Already have a 200 gig SD card. 200 gig? SD card for music. My first hard drive was like 400 megabytes. Hard drive, for real. And a $100 headphone. I don't want to pay more for another set just for my phone. I guess I'm not attached to headphones. Get it? Because the cord and the cable and the tethering attached. I don't even have Bluetooth headphones. But now if I got Bluetooth headphones, I would want to get the Bluetooth 5. That's the one thing I want to investigate, because this has got an onboard DAC that apparently just blows everything else out of the water in terms of audio quality on this LG V30. I'm not an audiophile, so I don't know, unless someone sat beside, but, okay, listen to this and then listen to this. I don't have good headphones. I can tell you that much right now. I now have a good way of listening to high-quality sound by way of the LG V30. So there's a lot to like in the hardware, but I'm telling you, it's not just the hardware, man. It's the software experience. That's the polish. It's the fit and finish. Gboy888 asks, hey, Chris, do you think apps on Android run as good as on iPhones? Yes, and I did this in the video if you missed it. What was it, last week? Yeah, last week. go and watch the video I did comparing iOS 11 to Android Oreo. Watch that video. That's your assignment. I'm going to cut to the chase. I effectively compared the Star Wars app on Android Oreo, specifically on a Nexus 6P, to the Star Wars app, specifically on an iPhone 8 Plus, with iOS 11. The latest, it wasn't even a beta, it was the final version of iOS 11. And the Nexus 6P, a radically slower device on paper, ran circles around the performance of the Star Wars app, specifically on the iPhone 8. So, or the 8 Plus, I should say. I'm not saying that's indicative of every single app, because it's not. It could be due to the framework and the optimizations that were made, but by and large, the Star Wars app has generally not been as amazing on iOS as I think it could have been, going all the way back. It just, for whatever reason, runs better. Possibly not even the only app that runs better on Android. It depends on the optimizations. Depends on which apps. I appreciate, that developers are consistently looking at this stuff. I wish users could do more to send telemetry to these developers so that they can improve the animations and timings and everything in their apps. Unfortunately, there's no way of doing that, certainly without, violating any kind of privacy outright. Unless there is a way of doing it, Google's doing it and not telling us that they're doing it. Let's see what I'm looking back at the comments here since we're doing it live. We're doing it live! Tana Does Tech comes in with another super chat. Thank you, Tana Does Tech. I do appreciate it. Billy Higgins, and there was no question or comment, but if you do have one, just go ahead and throw it in for that super chat. Billy Higgins comes in with another little bit for the Pixel Fund. You know what? I really appreciate that, because at this point, it's all on me. Let me put it this way. As much as this last month or so has been amazing on YouTube and Twitch and Patreon, I have yet to cover the costs of everything that I picked up at Google the other day. You'd be surprised just how hard it is, so I still hope for a sponsor. I'm still looking for that sponsor. How do you do Super Chats? Asked Dan Nagura. You can do it on Android, because YouTube app works that way. You can do it on the desktop, but you cannot apparently do it on iOS in the YouTube app. You can use iOS and Safari and do Super Chats, and I think that's the way it's been. Moanas Kamal also comes in and says, image and video compression has always been worse on Android for some reason. I guess I'll be the judge when I can see it. David Stevens Super Chats and says, how's your bank account looking, dude? Thanks. I do appreciate it. It's looking better. You have no idea. You have no idea how it sounds so silly, but it's true. Every little bit helps. Every little bit. Tana Does Tech does have a question. Chris, does the V30 fare the S8 Plus to you? Not sure I quite understand that. Maybe a typo. But I wonder, how does it compare, maybe? The possibility, though, of comparing it is going to get, I guess, more accurate for me, in my perspective, my answer, as I am inching towards getting a note review unit, potentially, but it hasn't happened yet. I keep begging. Not begging, but, I'm asking, because, again, not easy to do. Fun to do, yes, but not necessarily outright. So, how it would compare, I guess I'd have to see them side by side and to know what I'm looking at. I'm more inclined, I'm going to tell you, when I do phone comparisons, I don't want to talk about speeds necessarily, and this one has this feature, yeah, maybe as value adds, but I'd rather talk about the overarching experience. Does it feel good? Not just weight-wise. Is the experience solid? Because that's what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for someone to tell me which is a better experience. Well, I think this is a better experience because of this, or that is an experience because of that. Gboy88 says, cool, thanks. I ordered a Pixel book, and I'm looking forward to the Google Play apps running on it. That is, okay, I'm with you. Gboy888, high five. Hopefully I did not hit anybody or smack anybody in the face by doing that. I'm also now in the Pixel Book Club, and I'm very excited for the integration of the Google Play apps. I'm titillated. It's exciting. I think it makes sense to me at a distance, and I'll be diving into that certainly as it comes here. That will likely be those unboxings. I think are going to be in the Chris Pirillo channel, possibly. They're devices I'm looking forward to. Possibly TLDR would move forward this show that you're watching now as normal. But yeah, let me know how that if this works for you, if this kind of experience works for you and how I've been publishing content. I do appreciate that. I'm Markovic 1995, longtime supporter, says iOS 6 or Android Oreo, honestly. Oh, man. That's tough. That's tough. The nostalgic bone in my body, wherever the hell it is, I don't know if it's in here or what. And by the way, I'm wearing this shirt, just so anybody says I'm too white. You know, you can see that I'm obviously off-white compared to the white here. Hang on. Ooh, we got a couple super chats and everything kind of skipped forward. Give me a second. Sorry. I apologize. Now I got to scroll back. I want to say Android Oreo. I mean, it's newer, obviously. It's cleaner, certainly, than iOS 6. But my love for iOS ended, I really believe, with iOS 7. Like, that was it. Watch today's other video on the other YouTube channel after this video. YouTube.com/Chris Pirillo. Go over there right now and, like, bookmark it or whatever, or save it for later and all that. Billy Gilmer comes in with a super chat. I've been using the Pixel since it came out last year. I can tell you that stock Android is the best for the Pixel Fund. Thank you. I'm considering finding a way to getting original Pixels, because if I can get a hold of a brand new Pixel XL and a Pixel, I can do comparisons. And moreover, I'm thinking about possibly, oh, that was a little louder. Maybe seeing if Diana wants to move from the iPhone. I'm not saying, there's nothing wrong with these other devices. Let me explain why. Features, software. Would she want a headphone jack? Yeah, most likely. Would she want a nice screen? Of course. Would she want, dual cameras? Maybe. The thing that Diana needs most, and you feel me, folks. Have you ever been with a partner who runs out of storage all the time because they got, like, tons of photos and videos? That's Diana. All the time. Like, she takes 54 photos of one thing and saves them all. I said, you only need one. Yeah, but they're all good and different. Like, so I'm trying to save her from herself. And the Pixel, to my knowledge, is the only phone that offers that feature. So you see how the software, it's not the phone, it's not the hardware. Again, that's compelling. It's the software. It's the software. In fact, when Des was talking about the software on the LG V30, I was like, where's the app drawer? I was like, there's nothing here. He explained, he says, this is probably the most iPhone-y type of an interface, although he couldn't say iPhone in the video, for Android. He was right. It's a very, very reminiscent of iOS in terms of how apps are managed. I think LG did a good job with that. Whether they intended to or not, I think it's a good approach. It's a unique approach. It's software. All right, scrolling back to the other super chats that have come in. Again, super chats get elevated above regular chats because, priority. Oscar Forzani, Fawcett says, super chatting, says, hey, Chris, 4 a.m. here in Brighton, England, 4 a.m. Loving the content. Quick question, what's the next item on your Star Wars list? Oh, that is a fantastic question. What is the next item on my Star Wars list? I think, let's see here. What's coming? Let me check I got an app that tells me, like, deliveries and stuff. So let me check. Captain Rex came in. Oh, I ordered the 6-inch series Black Malbus, Baze Malbus. I never got a good one in box. So the Baze Malbus from the previous wave from Rogue One is coming. It's not exactly new, but I am excited for it. And today I got my Admiral Akbar and First Order Officer Toys R Us exclusive. That came in, so I was happy. So that's not exactly new. The new wave of toys just came out, so if I'm looking forward to any, it's the new figures, whichever the next wave of figures is going to be. The figures always excite me the most. Always, always, always. They always have, and they always will. Fraxis, in the Discord chat. Oh, cool. The LG V30 said, phone will turn off in 30 seconds to prevent battery drainage. That may happen before using phone. Tap screen to keep it turned on. That's what I like. I like LG's tap. I do. First time I learned that, I'm like, damn, that's genius. Software, hardware, they work. Features, perfect. See? Look, it tells you. The software tells you what's going on. I love it. Billy Gilmer says, I've been using it. Oh, wait, no, I already read that one. Billy got 2 shout-outs. Bonus. Dan Nagura, super chat from Canada. He says, I think you're wrong, assuming Google is what Apple used to be in 2010. There's no real substitute as today. Maybe in the future. So let me go ahead and qualify that or clarify it, because it's not the same. It's never going to be the same. Google has a different business model, different approach to the marketplace, different product strategy, stem to stern. There's no such thing as a replacement for Apple right now in the marketplace. That's what, when I have been saying Apple has no competition, that's what I'm speaking to. No one effectively does what Apple does. And that's getting even more, I guess, how should I say this? Not important, but more concentrate, more, what's the word I'm looking for? More underscored by evidence. Apple's doing their own thing, and now they got their own silicon. Like, they're controlling everything. Everything. No, Google's not doing that. Coming close, getting closer, but not quite. I don't think they want to do their own silicon. They've so much as said. This year, that may change. So I'm not saying it's exactly the same. I'm saying in terms of the approach to consumer electronics and experience, I think they're the same. Business models, no way. But in terms of creating a cohesive experience, man, if you were an Apple user watching that Google keynote, thinking to yourself, I would never want that. If you wouldn't want some of those features that Google talked about, okay, I think you're not lying to yourself, but I think you need to think pretty hard about that integration of not just those home speakers, but family. If you have a family, in the features inside of the experiences that they're providing, they're very very user-centric. And I think that's how Apple used to be, and that's where I think Apple lost its mojo. So does that clarify things, Dan? Not to turn back to the Discord chat, as I was mentioning before my phone woke me up, as it fell asleep. Fraxis, who is a patron, says, Chris, when are your Pixel phones set to arrive? I think they're in the first wave of shipping, so I think October 17th or 19th. I don't know. Trust me. As soon as I know, y'all are going to find out, because I'm going to be here on, like, pins and needles. Not literally, because that would be owie. Thank you for hanging out in Discord chat. A way to get into Discord chat, once again, either become a sub of mine on Twitch or head over to patreon.com/Chris Pirillo and be a patron. Either one, you get access. Will you stop, Fraxis continues, using your iPhone completely during your Pixel evaluation so you can see if it meets all your needs? I don't know. I'm sidelining it, I think. I don't intend on switching outright. But I will likely, and this is probably going to be a video, like, okay, I'm not going to use my iPhone, or try not to, for the next week. After I feel I've got things set up, I'm just going to do it. Like, just kind of dive in. And effectively not look at my iPhone. And I've done this when I've gone from an old iPhone to a new iPhone. I've done this a lot. It is going to be a bit of a challenge, I think, up front, but I can do it. Android's not that difficult, dude. It really isn't. I mean, there's different nuances and experiences, but it's not that hard. Speaking of, if you missed this, I mentioned something in the podcast. You have to listen to the podcast I recorded today. It'll be up on Anchor.fm first. Chris Pirillo is my username. And then it'll be published in the podcast here if you have the podcast feed. Just search for Chris Pirillo on your favorite podcasting client. I mentioned something in the podcast today telling people, showing people effectively how I have fixed something in the Google Pixel for everybody. I fixed a bug. I don't have a Pixel. I saw something. I reported it. A bug report was filed. Find out what that is in the podcast. You're welcome. I'm not angry. I'm not frustrated. I'm just saying, I'm happy. I fixed something. It's kind of neat. David Stevens comes again with a super chat. Can Google please create an iMessage alternative? Allo. A-L-L-O. It can't be that hard with all the resources. Third-party solutions are meh. Allo. A-L-L-O. I think that's their chance. I think that's what they're going to do. As I see it kind of building and coming together, now it's available on the web, iOS, Android. I think that's it. I think Allo is the what's going to siphon people away, if only because of the cross-platform support. And then with its cross-platform connection to Duo, I think Allo is it. I really do. That if you're looking for it, that's it. That's it. And then some. I don't know if I would necessarily switch to Allo outright, but I will tell you, I am extricating myself from iMessage. That's for sure. For a lot of different reasons. Not the least of which is being cross-platform friendly. I have no choice, right? I can't miss something. That would be horrible. So I'm like slowly but surely telling people, nay, Like, if you want to talk to me over there. Here. Join me in the chat room. It's a good place to talk in the chat room, but I'm not always, paying attention to what's going on in there. So, yeah, there's your answer, David. Try it, Allo. I don't think I have any friends on Allo. I don't have many friends at all who want to talk to me, who aren't talking to me in any other way. Stefano Mono comes in with a super chat. Thank you. Hey, Chris, are you going to buy Star Wars Battlefront II? I am so jealous. People are playing the beta. I didn't get the beta. I've been so wrapped up with other things. I want to play it so bad. When is it out? It's out soon, right? I'm such a horrible Battlefront player. I enjoyed it, but then, I kept getting, slaughtered on the battlefield. I'm looking forward to it. My hope is, I can't wait. Well, number one, I can't wait for the exclusive figure coming out, GameStop exclusive figure of, what's her name? Iden Urso? No. What's her? She's the lead character, and I don't know if someone correct me, please. But I'll play it probably on the PS4, probably onto the Star Wars Radar YouTube channel. So I'll probably be streaming on Star Wars Radar, that YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. 48,000 followers there on Twitter already. So that's solid. And he says, and buy the Xbox One X to play in 4K. No, I couldn't justify that. I love Star Wars, but I couldn't justify. I've got an Xbox One. I'm very grateful for it. It's a review unit. I've already got a PS4. It's fully functional. Maybe it's not great, but my brothers play on PS4, so, if I want to play with them, then, I got to use that. I would not be inclined to buy the Xbox One X just to play in 4K. It would be an eventuality. Just did a video, I think, last week about, is 4K worth it? Incrementally, but, upgrading outright, I just don't game enough. I'm not enough of a gamer. VT Productions PC, a.k.a. Mario, comes in with a super chat. As a geek nerd, you've had a good run with women. Thank you. Diana is the full package. I'm not a really good-looking guy and had a bad run with women. Would be a good video if you told us, fellow geeks, your secrets. Well, first of all, have you seen me? Like, you can't. This is as bad as it gets, right? Just trust me. Let me put it this way. Liz, who helped set up the live stream tonight, and the nice little thumbnail with me kind of doing with the box, the LG on the thumbnail. Let me show you something. I got a couple of zits here. Liz had to Photoshop them out. I didn't ask her to, but I got some zits there. Not to mention I need my haircut. Here's the thing, dude. You got to be you. Be you. You be you. Be you. If you want to attract someone, be you. Because you know what? If you pretend you're someone else and you attract someone, they're attracted to somebody else. They're not attracted to you. If they don't love you for who you are, they don't love you. That's the bottom line. You got to remember that. I don't care if you're nerd, geek, not nerd, not geek. It's just true. You got to know who you are. Know who you are, and then someone else can get to know you. If you don't know who you are, how do you expect anybody else to know who you are or want to know who you are? You've got to know yourself. It starts with you, not with her. It starts with you. There's a little shot of self-confidence. You have to believe in yourself. No one else is. Just assume that. I appreciate that people do believe in me. Sometimes believe me even. But it's because I feel I believe in myself. I've got strong convictions. Not everybody has strong convictions. We're all different. I'm just saying you got to know who you are. And just be yourself. If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. If it wasn't, it wasn't. It sucks sometimes for those of us who love, staying at home. But sometimes you got to get out. Sometimes you got to explore different things. You've got to live life instead of waiting for something to happen. You've got to do it yourself. Not always easy. Easier said than done. I get it. But you got to know yourself before you can expect someone's going to want to know you. I am not the individual going to grow a ponytail. Because let me tell you, I've tried it before. I had a mullet back in high school. Remember the Wesley Willis song? Cut the mullet. Go Google it. Just look it up. Bing it if you want. I don't care. Use the new Microsoft launcher beta on Android. It's a mullet song. Wesley Willis. You want to laugh hysterically. You got to listen to his songs. My hair froze out. It's so bad. I was sitting down earlier in Jedi. She goes, what's that? I was like, what are you talking about? It's my hair was growing so long. I was like, what's my hair? It's time to get your hair cut when your teenager asks you what your hair is. Man. Alan Redding comes in with another super chat. Boy, you guys are coming in with the super chats, and I don't have a chance to get it regular chat. Alan Redding, the Google clip was an amazing one more thing moment for the Pixel Fund. Thank you. The clip, yes. You know, some people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because again, I'm a parent, and I know, and I, you know, what it's like to want to be in the moment rather than, you know, shoving a camera in someone's face. It just changes the mood automatically. But if you set a camera up and it's just there and people know it's there, and especially with kids, you're able to capture moments you otherwise couldn't capture. Little, just brief moments, snippets of time. Doesn't record audio, just video. I love animated GIFs. Love them. I love the little clips. Love them. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. Maybe I'd be happier if it was a little more affordable, sure, but I'm absolutely going to get one. I mean, I'm telling you, Google, they're doing things and I'm just like, okay, this works. This fits. I'm there. I get it. I feel it. So let's go ahead and pop back into Discord here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Raul Madera, another ally in the fight for good user experiences, comes in with a super chat. Always try to support every live stream. Raul, I don't know if you're in Discord at all. Corey Moore is. This is it's a pretty active chat room. I think Fraxis was a little worried that I was going to get too distracted. But you got to remember, my mind works a lot like the Windows Start menu. Goes out, and then it snaps back. It's the way I do things. It's got to do it. Got to do it. Another one. Dan Nagura comes back and says, do a rant on the artsy side of flat design. A rant on the artsy side of flat design. What does that mean? Okay, if I had to rant on flat design, mind you, I am not going to do this justice because I'm not a design critic, believe it or not. Eli Schiff could do a better job. In fact, in a future TLDR, I want to bring Eli in like a hangout and do a hangout and talk about design choices that Apple's making, design choices that Google's making, because he could speak much more intelligently to this. But if I had to, you know, if I had to rant about flat design, I'm like, where the hell is it? What's going on? Like, you know, with skeuomorphism, at least I knew it was a button. Like, it looks like a button. I can tap the damn button. With flat design, you can't tell where anything is. What anything? Is this a button? That's not a button. That looks like a button. That's not a button. How can you tell if it's a button? Button. Who's got the button? You're playing that all day long with flat design. That's it. There's no personality to these things anymore. They all look the same. Which, you know, if the app experience is similar, I get it. But, you know, I miss that. I really do. I'd be just as fine. I think Apple would be in a different state if Scott Forstall was still there. I think maybe we'd still have skeuomorphism. Possibly. I wouldn't be complaining, though. I mean, it would just get refreshed. But the thing is, like, I knew I was in the Notes app because, man, this looked like the way I take notes on the yellow legal pad. I'm serious, man. I think I got some here. Hang on. Yeah, look, see? God bless America. See? This is what the Notes app used to look like. I knew I was in the frickin' Notes app. Great, now you made me drop my remote control. So I'm just saying, it's just not... Was that a good enough rant? Am I now off the hook? I Shmuel says, hey Chris, I'm a returning viewer and you look good. Thank you. Lost some weight, but all in all, keep it up. I did. It's because I am now a whole food, plant-based person, which means I don't eat animal products. Yes, I'm a vegan. It's a great way of being healthy, for sure. Started my tech channel, so I see you as my idol. Don't see me as an idol. No. If you see an idol, get like, you know, the Indiana Jones idol thing. They make a little Lego piece of the Indiana Jones. I got a 3D printed piece of that one, too. Someone made it. It wasn't, like, perfect. So I'm not, like, proud of it or anything. That's an idol. I'm not an idol. I'm just a guy. But good for you. Congratulations. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully we'll see you more regularly here and in the other YouTube channel. And then, of course, on Twitch and the podcast and the social blah, 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 blah. All right. F43A97. That is one hell of a username. How will Google products ever compete with the iPhone coolness factor? That is an amazing question. Weird username. I'd love an explanation for it. But I think that's Google's biggest hurdle. I've got in the works, and this was suggested by one of the supporters on Twitch, one of the subs, the other day, like, do a video on how Google can beat Apple, and I want to speak to some of these things. That I don't think that's a point, but it's interesting to think a little deeper about. iPhone has that cultural value, and this is one of the things that I was saying specifically in the video a few weeks ago, talking about, is the iPhone X too expensive? Not if you view it as a status symbol. And that was my whole driving point in that very long video that I hope everybody watched in the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel. You know, they can compete with the iPhone's coolness factor, maybe not by out-cooling Apple, but by genuinely creating compelling experiences that people talk about. If I walked into someone's house, and then, like, you know, like we're at a party or something, and you know, I hear them interact with their speaker, I'm like, oh, I had no idea it was so easy. And then they say, I'm not going to use the trigger word because I don't want to trigger anybody's devices. Hey, Boogle broadcast, can you please come downstairs? And then suddenly all those Google Home devices go off, right? You know, that would just be that would be crazy. That would be awesome. And seeing that in person, it would be eye-opening. So it's not that the coolness factor necessarily was the compelling thing that drove people to adopt new devices from Google. It was seeing the experience. That's what it's about. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying this is my job, but, you know, I feel that if I come out and say, yeah, this about the Pixel and that about the iPhone, other people may start to sit up and listening. It's true. They may start to sit up and listen. So yeah, they're never going to be as cool as Apple, but that's not what Google's trying to do. And you know what? They shouldn't, because they can't create and continue to create seamless, good experiences that we can use. Then you will win. Don't chase being cool. You're cool by making an awesome experience. Garank Falk, that's his handle, jumped into chat and says, I came late. Did he unbox the V30 yet? I did. You can rewind the video, though. Like, it's out of the box. Cat's out of the bag. Device is out of the box. But this video will be in its own page after we've gone live. Narbe Misanian, good to see you again. I'm getting to know your name, even though I know I'm probably slaughtering it. Chris, did Google watch old Steve Jobs videos? Did you watch my Steve Jobs video? Though I said just that. I said Google must have been watching old Steve Jobs videos. I'm serious. If you go back and you watch old Steve Jobs videos, the things that he says, Google, they're a quick study. Taking them a while. Not to say they're completely out of the woods, and I think they're still making quite a few mistakes. But they grok that experience. That's what's so compelling. That's what's so exciting. It's not just about one device. It's about that device, with that device, with that device, with that device. I'm telling you, man, that's exciting to see. Because that's something that I just haven't felt in relation to new products and good design, not the least of which, you know, has to do with pricing and support. Just, I haven't seen for years, or I haven't felt that for years. For years. So yeah, I do wonder if Google did watch a few old Steve Jobs videos. I'm serious, too. You're probably asking that on your own volition, but you go watch that video. It's kind of weird, because I said that. Z Brown comes in with a super chat. Thank you, Z. Is Google's lack of streamlining, and that's in quotes there, a major issue for new users to you? Seems there's too many ways to do one thing. Like, too many ways to do one thing. Hashtag pun. Hashtag aloe. It's confusing for newbies. You know, it's the number 2. Too many ways to do one thing. I like it. Good wordplay. Yeah, so Google, and I've talked about this before, Google they haven't necessarily gotten their story completely straight. Precisely. They're getting there. Specifically, like with various messaging apps. You got Google Voice, but then you also have the phone, but then you also have, Allo, and then you have Hangouts, and, you know, each one has got its own, value, in the chain. You have messages that manages SMS. I wish they all blended together, but ultimately, if each one services differently, they don't need to belong together. If Hangouts is just for live video, chatting, that's its value. If Allo is for, text chatting and having fun, that's its value. Duo just for video calling, that's its value. Just like iMessage is abstracted from FaceTime. I mean, they integrate kind of, but not really. So they need to get their story more clear and streamline that process, but they're inching there. They're getting there. I mean, I have the same frustration, more to maybe your point. YouTube music is interesting, but if I want to listen to music on YouTube, I go to YouTube and I look for the music. If I want to listen to music, I open Google Play Music or Spotify or whatever. So to me, YouTube music needs to go away. That's I think it's useless. It's redundant. And so when we're talking about redundancy, I think there's a greater issue. Moreover, I wish, and I don't think this has happened, and I guess I'll find out, that if an Android phone comes with Google Chrome, then it shouldn't come with internet browser as well. Like one or the other, dude. That I get, right? Or like messaging app. Like why would I want this messaging app? I got this messaging app. Like I just need one of the thing that's taking care of that feature. So I think they are inching their way towards that and doing a fair job at it. But I do think they need to create more distinct, not just brand recognition, but an understanding of what one particular app might do over another. Let's see here. There is, hopefully, I know I'm getting, some people are having some lag with the video. I'm not sure if it's systemic. I've done as much as I can to throttle things down, but some people are having issues, other people not so much. Issues that you run into when you do things. Large says, thank you. I this question. I believe that here I asked the guy who was working in Internet Explorer, Dean Hakamovich, if they would port IE to other platforms, and they said no, that's not really. It's really interesting. And so I never thought. So anything like that now is just surprising. It is darn surprising. I think it's a few years too late potentially. It is interesting, but what they're bringing to the table effectively is just for Windows users. For anybody else, not so much. So effectively, seeing Microsoft Edge on other platforms is useful for Microsoft people or Windows PC people. Everybody else, I'm not inclined to go out and get it. But even with it being free, but there's nothing that I would use for it or use in it. For those of you wondering, I tried to do a couple things, some troubleshooting on my end. Hopefully the stream is a little better. If it was kind of janky before, it's because the iOS 11 development team was here in spirit. I just went there. I totally just went there. So I apologize. Oh, dang, we lost a lot of, hopefully, I think everyone's refreshing right now if that was the problem. Sometimes it takes a few seconds or a few moments to get things running again or running clearly. So hopefully the playback will play just fine. If not, let me know if you didn't hear the answer to your super chat question, Stefan Large, in terms of Microsoft Edge coming to Android. Dan Agura comes in with another super chat. Don't forget Google's stance on privacy versus Apple's. So Google's actually taking a better approach to this than I have seen in the past. They're certainly being a lot more transparent about it. I appreciate the level of granularity that Google provides that Apple doesn't, but I also think that's almost too much granularity. Like, I don't have to worry about that level of granularity with Apple. I just don't worry about it. I hope they continue to move that ball forward. And this is all the more reason why I wish that the Pixel division inside of Google would be abstracted from Google. I really do. I think Nest is fine as a standalone. I want to see Pixel as a standalone outside of Google so that it can pursue its own privacy issues. It's still a big deal for me. I feel more comfortable with it than I have in the past. I mean, I use Google. A lot of us use Google, but I think Google's doing a better job. with a lot of that stuff in addressing those issues around it. And I want to see him continue down that path, if only because I don't think Apple should hold the corner on that kind of feature for users, privacy. Baby831 comes in again with a super chat. And I say again because I've seen you in a stream before. Thanks for helping me realize that UX is more important than the specs. I've converted one person. You saved me from the iPhone 8 and shifted my tech outlook. Fan for life, Chris. Baybeats, stick around. Inevitably, I will upset you. It'll be about something silly or maybe serious. Just understand, I am a human being, just like other people are human beings. We're all human beings. So, I'm seeing the chat now, just kind of catching up with everything. I do apologize. I really apologize. I'm not going to apologize for the slam I made, for the janky nature of the stream for a little bit. The next question we're going to, as I'm making sure and monitoring. I see, you got to understand, when I do these live, it's just me doing these live streams. It's just me. I'm the only person who could do anything in this room. So thank you for your patience and your support. And baby, here's the thing. You got to make your own decisions. I'm glad you're at least open to it. This is the thing. If I can at least get people open to the idea that there's something that's potentially just different, in a different approach, you don't realize how bad something is until you see something better. That's my biggest, if I have a fear or trepidation around the Pixel, it's in saying that. Remind me that I've said that. You don't know how bad something is until you've seen how good something else is. That's how you win. Not on the coolness factor. You can't out-cool someone. But you can make a better experience. And you can win on that. So that's what I'd champion, right? It's like, you don't realize how bad it is until you see something better. I feel I'm on the path to something better. I don't know if I am or not. I think the most interesting test for me will be doing side-by-sides with photos, my own. I like DxO and everything. I've seen other photo comparison shots. Haven't looked as deeply, but the Pixel 2 has a fantastic camera. The Pixel 1 could stand up pretty well for the past year. F43A97, still haven't seen an explanation of your username, but you did come in with a super chat. Thank you. What can Google and Android do to address software fragmentation, create a uniform experience? I don't know if the answer is experience outright, but, to me, before I answer this question, let me go ahead and shout out Stephen Pirillo in chat saying, "Woo, my first Chris P live stream. Welcome. Hopefully it's more crunchy." See, some people are crispy. That is, by the way, my name, Chris P. Like, if anybody started that, it would have been me at birth, right? Not that it's my birthright, because it isn't. I'm crunchy. I believe in crunchy. What can Google Android do to address software fragmentation? I don't know if it's creating a uniform experience. I think they're taking the right steps with what they call Project Treble. So if you're not aware, you should research it. Android Oreo, which not every phone is going to have up front. Newer Android One experiences will, Pixel will, and then eventually the other devices will. I expect next year is going to be a radically different year for Android OEMs, because to effectively make it such that the company that creates the phone with their version of Android, they can abstract their version, their take on Android away from like the operating system layer. And I'm just using lay terms here. I'm not getting too specific, but from my understanding, they can effectively make it easier for Google to pass along any kind of update to the user, no matter what Android phone they were using. So that, one, could decrease some amount of fragmentation, specifically with Android versions. The next thing that may happen, or that could happen to address software fragmentation, could very well be, we've got resolution independence with devices, but there needs to be, and I may not be the best or most qualified person to answer this question, better telemetry for developers to know about what they need to do to better optimize their applications for various screens and sizes and compatibilities. Because Android runs on anything. That's its promise. That's its value. But that doesn't mean it should run on anything, or it doesn't run well. All the more reason, hey, get this $20 Android device. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm good. Here, have it for free. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. Nah, don't need it. Don't want it. I'm into that premium type of experience personally. But, you know, if this is my personal computer, if this is my PC, you know, I want a premium PC. Who doesn't? I mean, some people don't. But that's the way I am. So, you know, software fragmentation is a big concern of Google's, as you know, or should know. But I think if we're speaking about the same type of fragmentation, they're addressing that with Project Treble. You came in again with another super chat. F43A97. Google's had a long history of eradicating services that I've used frequently in the past. Let's not mention the Google Nexus Q. What's your take? I have talked about this in the recent past. I believe in the Google versus Apple or Android versus iOS video in the Chris Pirillo YouTube channel. Watch that. That's your homework assignment. Watch that video after this one. Then comment saying, hey, I watched the video. I did my homework. Did I get an A? Yeah, they do. They do have the propensity for basically eliminating services that don't work effectively as well as they thought they would, like Google Reader being one of those things. Nexus Q being another one of those things. What was it, the Nexus 9? The Nexus series was never meant to be a commercial success. These were like, you know, this is what an Android product could be, everybody. And then the whole industry went, nah, we're going to do our own stuff. So Google said, okay, fine, we're doing the Pixels. You know, the interesting thing, though, is that at least I'll give Google credit for trying, but it also does make me nervous. I don't want to invest, you know, too much in something that's brand new from Google because I'm like, it may not be there. Unless it's like a really compelling experience or something fun or interesting or unique that I can't get anywhere else. Then I'd be frustrated if they got rid of it and it was something that, you know, I learned to appreciate. Google does have that as an absolute threat. You know, but they try. They may fail, they may iterate, and they may eliminate, you know, but then they try to move on. They learn from their mistakes, or at least you believe, or want to believe, they learn from their mistakes and move on. We are, by the way, coming close to about the end of the hour for TLDR. The podcast will be published shortly hereafter, so you should tune into that if you want more Chris Pirillo, different content. Audio only, of course. Podcast. Billy Wayne Higgins the third comes in with a super chat. You definitely saved me from buying the iPhone 8. Really? See that? I mean, it honestly shocks me that I would have that much weight or I would have that much clout. But I say that, you know, here's the thing. If I ever say something, you should challenge it. If it's something that you don't believe or understand, you should challenge it. But you should also look beyond me. That's my recommendation. I'm telling you that. Knowing that you may trust something I say, look beyond me. What are other people saying? Understand what it is I'm saying. Understand what it is they're trying to say. And then you ultimately, of course, make up your own mind. But when I am able to surface opinions that reinforce mine with cogent reasoning, that's when you kind of have to wake up to, well, maybe Chris sounds not like all these other people that I've listened to, but there's probably a reason for that. Probably. I haven't always been right, but I also haven't always been wrong. These are things that I have always felt strongly about. Always. Going all the way back to before I was using Mac OS, I felt strongly about this kind of stuff. I was raked across the coals when I came out against Vista. Windows Millennium Edition nobody liked. But Vista, that was divisive. It was divisive. And then, remember the old Windows NT? Not NT, I loved NT. RT. Remember the tablet, Surface RT? That's when I did the cut the rope test. I was showing you my hands dropping frames left and right. That was so bad. That was the only iPad alternative we had back then. Now it's a different story. A couple more super chats here, and I'm happy to see them keep coming in. Dan Nagura, hero. You are one of the heroes of the stream here. Will Pixel Event suck out of IX? Wait, hang on. Will Pixel Event suck something out of IX? Wait, hang on. I think that was a typo. Alex Estrada also came in with a super chat with a comment. If there was one thing that you can really, really take from the keynote is that it barely mentioned any specs. Every other words that came out of their mouths was software and AI. Exactly. Precisely. That's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. But I was saying that before the keynote. If you were tuned into TLDR or watching the videos I was doing in the other YouTube channel for years, it's all about the software. Software. So is it any surprise? Is it any surprise that I'm happy with what Google's doing? Is it any surprise? Is it any shock? What have I been saying for years? Specs are irrelevant. This is before Google said it or didn't say it. That's what I'm saying. It's not sometimes what they say. It's what they don't say. Google did a better job grokking Apple's approach to the marketplace than Apple did. in recent times compared to old times. Ah. Okay, Peter, to clarify, he says iPhone 10. Thank you. So will the Pixel event suck out of iPhone 10? So, if I understand, forgive me for the translation, I think the Pixel is going to suck a lot of some velocity out of how the iPhone 10 may be adopted. But it's anybody's guess. I don't think the iPhone 10 is going to lose momentum outright. The Pixel is kind of an edge case. People don't know enough about the Pixel. No, and Google's doing it wrong. They're relying on marketing. Marketing's not going to solve the problem. Getting that Pixel into people's hands is going to solve the problem. That will do it. The cool factor is never going to come, and I think they know that. So, I'm not interested in the iPhone 10. If you're interested in the iPhone 10, I'd be shocked if you also were not interested in its contemporary, a Pixel 2 XL. Now, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. OLED screens, there you go. No front button, there you go. Bezel-less-ish. Pixel does a better job. So, there's no perfect phone right now. But ultimately, if you were a techie, and I did see a couple of people say, yeah, Pixel looks impressive, but I'm still getting the iPhone 10. All right, then I guess they see phones differently than I do. I guess they see experiences different than I do. I expect a pretty darn good experience for $1,000. They don't, because there's no way in hell that the Pixel, the iPhone 10. Man, where did I get the hiccups from? The iPhone 10 is going to provide a good experience in relation to the experience on the Pixel. No way. I know enough about iOS and its slop, and I know what the hell that looks like from afar. And I know that software is not meant to run on that kind of device. I'm telling you, man. I was ready to start winding down now that we're past an hour, but I do have a couple other Super Chats, so I got to go to my Super Chats. VTC Productions PC, Mario, comes in again and says, something I found is Samsung has its setting updating every week without the need for Google, e.g. dialer messages always on display, etc., even though they know they're slow in updating Google's firmware. So one of the things that they're doing, these OEMs are abstracting some of their features and putting them onto Google Play, making them more available, smaller updates, they can iterate on a more frequent basis. This, I think, is going to provide a much more compelling, balanced experience for non-pure Android users, if that's the device they so choose, like, if it was the LG V30 or, any other Android device, non-Pixel device. But it's good to see that they're consistently, or at least constantly, putting out new updates. It's going to get better with treble. Next year is going to be a banner year for Android OEMs. Mark my words. I don't know when the Pixel breakaway year is going to be. To me, this is the year for a Pixel breakaway. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. I think that's an uphill battle for a few different reasons, not the least of which is potentially tied to limiting how that Pixel is perceived in the marketplace. I think Google cut itself off at the knees with the Pixel. I think it was a major mistake. They made the right decision for themselves, I think, or they believe, but I think that's going to play out as a mistake. But yeah, Project Treble is going to make it easier to have a new non-Pixel phone be updated all the time. F43A97 is another MVP, another hero of today's stream. If only they still made the innovative Palm Pre. When's the next blogger fair? Well, the Palm Pre guy, Matthias Duarte, and I'm probably slaughtering his name as well, he's the one working on material design at Google. If you ever thought that it kind of had the same kind of feeling of a Palm Pre type of experience, there's a reason why. When's the next blogger fair? It's now called the Creator Advocate Summit. Maybe in November. And I'm saying maybe, and we're about a month out. Ask Liz. No, it's not. We've been waiting a while to find out if we can do it at a certain place. Narbe Masanian comes in with the super chat. I thought we were going to do an hour long, but I guess we're going to keep going. I'm a purist and have always been hesitant with Samsung due to having to rely on them for updates and deal with unwanted bloat, switching after 5 years on iOS. Well, Narbe, are you thinking about Pixel? Because Pixel would do it. Pixel would absolutely do it. This is, really... hang on. Just a second. this is probably the best solution for you. I mean, if you're like me, I'm a software purist. I like software in general. Like, if this is a good software experience for the phone, I'm not going to slag it. I will point out where I think LG's kind of fallen short, too. Because I saw something today, I'm like, that ain't right. I will report it. Do not worry. Never fear. But anyway, that's that's my feeling on that. All right, let's see here. I've got too many open windows here, trying to flip back and forth. So, yeah. You don't need to go Samsung. Samsung's not the only Android choice for you. I think you know that. Dan Nagura. Damn Nagura. Will the Pixel event make Apple rethink their iPhone strategy? Will it make them rethink it? That's a good qualifying question. I doubt it, because Apple has one thing Google doesn't. Well, I can't go that far. Apple has an insane amount of hubris, and I think that gets in Apple's way. Apple is its own worst enemy. It's not so much what Google's not doing, it's what Apple is doing that I think is potentially going to push people away. Just like it wasn't what Microsoft wasn't, it was what they were doing that pushed me away. Not so much what Apple was doing, it was what Microsoft was doing. Apple does need to rethink their iPhone strategy, but they also need to think their software strategy. Apple doesn't think about software anymore. They don't. It's not a priority to them. It just isn't at all. Not remotely. I don't know if it's ever coming back. But I'm just like, I ain't gonna stick around to find out. Like I'm serious, man. I'll be this close. It will be shocking that I don't switch for a phone if I don't switch from iOS to Android for the first time ever. And this is like, it's not like a fickle kind of, I'm serious, dude. Until Apple gets a software story straight, and then maybe I'd go back. Maybe. I never went back to Windows. And I tell you, if that Pixelbook is a compelling experience, a better experience, and I can do everything I normally do on the iPad, I'd absolutely sell the iPad Pro. Not because of what Google's doing, necessarily, so much as what was Apple's doing. It woke me up. So, Apple will start to wake up when they feel the pinch. I don't know if they feel the pinch yet. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Okay, I'm going to start winding down here. The live stream's gone on about an hour, and that's usually where I want to cut it off. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate the regular chats. I try to do both, but again, I got to go with my subs on Twitch, also a part of the Discord chat. My patrons on Patreon, also a part of the Discord chat. You can join that 24/7. Looks like we got Rob Madden 1 in there now. That's so nice. What wasn't so nice is all the stream buffering. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. Again, listen to the podcast now. Go watch that Steve Jobs video. Follow throughout social. Turn on your notifications. I do appreciate all the support that you've given. TLDR every weekday, every day, if I can pull it off. I'm going to go ahead and leave you to your own devices. I love you. I appreciate you, and may the Force be with you.